We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan. You're looking at the World Trade Center. We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
A plane has hit the World Trade Center.
A plane has crashed into the World Trade Center in New York.
Breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here in New York City. It happened just a few moments ago.
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit. Right? Oh, my God. Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion.
Oh, my God.
That looks like a second plane. We just saw another plane coming in from the side.
It appeared to bank sharply and smash directly, perhaps purposefully, into, oh my goodness, there's another one. Oh my goodness, there's another one.
Seems to be on purpose.
Oh my goodness, no, there's a second plane just crashed into the World Trade Center. I think we have a terrorist act.
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country. Americans have known wars. Americans have known the casualties of war, but not at the center of a great city on a peaceful morning. Americans have known surprise attacks, but never before on thousands of civilians. All of this was brought upon us in a single day, and night fell on a different world, a world where freedom itself is under attack. Our war on terror begins with Al-Qaeda, but it does not end there. It will not end until every terrorist group of global reach has been found, stopped, and defeated.
Two soldiers and a civilian, all American, have been killed in a so-called insider attack following an argument with a man in Afghan army uniform.
NATO has confirmed that 7 American soldiers have been killed in Afghanistan. 6 died in a roadside bomb attack in the east of the country on Sunday. A 7th died in an earlier attack.
There is breaking news out of Afghanistan, where an Afghan soldier, angered over the burning of Islamic holy books, has shot and killed 2 American troops.
6 American soldiers serving in Afghanistan were killed in a helicopter crash Tuesday.
September 11th, 2001. 2 planes, 2 towers, countless stories that had their endings changed in the space of a breath. Everything had changed and the world was at war. Troops were drafted, families were torn apart as fathers and brothers and sons were sent to a part of the world they'd probably never even thought about to defend a country they loved. And some of them never came back. Death is one of the only true inevitabilities. Birth and change and death. It's one of the first lessons you learn, isn't it? Nothing lasts forever. So you think you're prepared. You know it's coming one day. You talk about living each day as if it's your last, and making every moment count, but those words are empty. Until they mean something. Until there are gunshots in a country a million miles away from your small-town life, and the person who got in the way of the bullet is your father. Then you wish you'd taken your own advice, seized every moment, and you realize you weren't prepared at all. Nothing can prepare you for that.
Hello, I'm Gianni.
And I'm Ava.
And we're the writers of The Eighth Fold. I started writing The Eighth Fold around 2011. my idea was to create something current, but also universal. I mean, although the show is set around and rooted in America's war on terror and those affected by the events on September the 11th, the main kind of theme is more so to do with personal growth and learning from what life throws at you, and kind of that lesson where, you know, it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you respond to it. And within the show we kind of discover that through 4 different points of view and 4 different ways of dealing with it, I guess. So what happened was basically I started writing and then I put it down for a couple of years, and then I met up with Ava for a coffee and just happened to mention it to her.
So I'm out with Gianni for coffee, and literally as we were saying goodbye, he told me he'd written a musical and did I want to listen to it, because at the time I was producing, and of course I said yes. So then he sent me a few of the songs, and it took me ages to get round to listening to them. So one Sunday morning I finally got round to it, and the first one I listened to was Conversations, and I wasn't even to the end of the song when I emailed him back and said, yes, I want to produce this show, and who's writing the book? And he said, at the moment there's not a book, which was when I said, well, there is now.
So the Eightfold centres itself around the journey of 4 boys who have been affected by the war in Afghanistan, who basically have all lost someone, and it's their grieving process throughout the year that follows, and how they each deal with it in different ways. Each boy represents a season and an element, and this is something to do with the kind of balance that comes with a group of friends and how each one helps or hinders the other, depending on how they look at the world.
That's one of the really nice things about it, I think, is that there is a bit of everyone in one of them at least, and there's something in it that everyone can relate to, because it's such a universal subject. Like, no matter how or what, everyone's dealt with loss.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone does it in a different way, and I think such a major theme of this is that that's alright.
Yeah.
There's not a right way.
No, there's no guidebook when it comes to this kind of thing. So after compiling the first draft of the script and having a few read-throughs with a selected cast, we then went into workshop groups for a week over the summer, where we had the opportunity to share moments of the show for the first time and also see it really come to life for the first time.
And then in November last year we were very lucky that we were given a West End Theatre for a night to showcase the Eightfold in concert, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. One of the nicest things about the whole experience, I think, is that everyone who's come to it in any capacity has given it so much, but also taken so much from it. So this show, whatever it ends up being, if it ever stops growing, will be a little bit of every single person who's ever been anything to do with it, I think.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
It's lovely. It's a really adaptable, kind of fluid piece, and it's constantly changing. It never stops. I mean, I'm incredibly excited to see what our first American cast brings to us. Who we discovered over the past few weeks in New York. Myself and my business partner and our executive producer, Tiffany Gray. The talent we saw was incredible, and the choices that we had to make were tough.
I just can't wait to see what Americans bring to it, because it is such an American story.
It's terrifying as well, because with it being such a sensitive subject, bringing that to an American audience and seeing how they respond to it is really daunting. We've done our best to be respectful and sensitive with everything we've tackled.
Yeah, it's just time now though. Like, I think we've always said from the very beginning that's where it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And now they're letting us come to New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. We hope you like what you've seen, and if you want to see more, hear more, generally know more, you can go to www.theeightfoldmusical.com and it's all there.
Yep. we can't wait to see you in New York this summer. So in the meantime, we'll leave you with a clip of the show's finale, which is called Ground Zero. Hope you enjoy. See you soon.
Somebody with a letter saying do not bend. When a soldier stands with a face of stone, you know there and then somebody won't come home. If one little message can break your heart, then surely another can help you start again. It just depends. You can cry or you can try to find the strength to realize you're not alone. A broken home can't justify a wasted life. Find your hero. When you grow on ground zero. So as you become the boy whose daddy died, people look at you strange and you went home to cry. But when mama's too hurt to hold your hand, you gotta grow up fast and learn to be a man. Loss is a lesson that won't change for you. Ignores how you feel and will never hear your voice. Make a choice. You can try or you can try to find the strength to realize you're not alone. A broken home can't justify a wasted life. Find your hero. Way to grow on ground zero. So life, give me all you've got. Take your best shot. Are you ready for the day I've fallen? I'm standing steady on ground zero.